Hello buddy, and welcome back to another video. Today is episode 21 of your NHL 22 franchise mode here with the Edmonton Oilers, as we're walking into a pretty big episode, as we're right now halfway through the year of the 2025 or 2024-25 season, as we're going to be finishing up the rest of the season and hopefully destroying the NHL and bolstering up the team for a big playoff run. But before we get into that, I like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That'll be very much appreciated, boys. So let's get into this episode. Of course, I have been, a little bit gone from the franchise mode series for a bit. I haven't done, a big stream since the 27th of December, I think it was the last time that we actually did a video for the Edmonton Oilers franchise mode. So we are back and we are ready to go. I'm ready to get this team back into the playoffs. As you guys all know, we're top of the division in the Pacific Division this past season, and we've been doing really good. Our goals for is awesome. Our goals against is amazing. We're doing pretty well on our power play. Our penalty kill has been killer. Our top six has just been absolutely amazing this year. McDavid, Draisaitl have been ripping it apart. Yamamoto's been doing great alongside of Holloway, Nuge, and Jesse Puljujarvi's also been doing amazing. Of course, we're going to have some big contracts that we're going to have to pay out to players this year, especially with Yamamoto and Dylan Holloway, and Jesse Puljujarvi both being big-time free agents this year. So, this is a year where I want to go all in. Of course, our depth has been struggling a little bit, especially with the line of Laughton, Hartman, Hartman and Nyquist. I think that's one of the lines that we got going right now. Our defense has been amazing, though. Darnell Nurse has been pretty good for the team this year. He's been that defensive stalwart that we need him to be. And then we also got Matt Grzelcyk. Evan Bouchard's been pretty solid as well. And then Dmitry Orlov, who right now we have stuck on a no-movement clause. So we still have to do with him this year. So our defense, we really can't do very much. And then, of course, goaltending. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Sarles has been gone. We haven't had him fully this year. So with him, being fully back and ready to go, I'm excited to see, can he really put up some good numbers over these next few games, and we'll have to see how well he'll do. But before we get into the simulation and everything like that, I do want to make a few lineup changes. I think I want to bump up Bergolt up to that line, and yeah, maybe we do Hartman. Maybe Nyquist is someone that we could, trade away, and then we could throw McLeod instead of Nyquist, and we could do Bergolt, Laughton, and Strome. Who's the best centerman? Laughton, Bergolt, Strome. We'll do Strome as a centerman, Bergolt as the winger, Laughton as the left winger. And then defensively, we keep that the exact same. I don't know if Nyquist was on one of the power plays. No, he does not look like he was. So that'll be fine and dandy to go. Same with that. Everything else looks fine and ready to go to assimilate through the rest of the season. So yeah, I think that was all I really need to update. But I think Strome has been really good, especially since he's only been getting fourth line minutes. He's been producing a pretty good amount of points. So I think throwing him up on that, that third line alongside of Bergolt and Scott Laughton, I think that line will really produce well for us, and I think it'll be good, good line moving forward. So, and then getting Ryan McLeod in the lineup might not be a bad idea, especially with the few games that he has played this year. He's been stellar for the team. He's been producing almost at a point per game. So, I think having Ryan McLeod in the lineup is probably a better option than Gustav Nyquist right now. And since, it gives it a bit of a minus on that third line, I think that'll be the best option for us to go with. So let's get right into the simulation here with the Edmonton Oilers. Hopefully we can continue ripping apart the league this year and continue pulling away with some big W's. So Saros is fully healthy and ready to go back in the net, so hopefully he can stay healthy and we can have a good stretch of games going throughout January. We did have a good December, but I want to continue. And then Scott Laughton goes down with a broken foot. That's not good. That's not good at all. I am damn it, man. Why did you have to break your foot, man? Why did you have to break your damn foot, bro? God damn it. So we lose Scott Laughton to a massive injury. He's going to be out, and that's just been the problem this year. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries during this last little bit, where we just keep getting injuries piled up on us, and I don't know, man. It's just it just keeps overwhelming us massively. Nyquist is not too bad defensively, so I think we could keep him there for right now. And then, Holloway could play centerman for that top line PK. And I like Holloway up on that PK. He's probably one of our better defensive forwards. So Yeah, we're 7-2-1, man. This team is crazy good. And that's why I really want to build up the team a little bit. I mean, we really can't do a whole lot, though. That's going to be the biggest thing, is we're not, like, we can go all in. Like, we can definitely make some deals, but we can't really upgrade the top four because we can't trade away Dmitry Orlov. Unless, you know, one of the players do get injured before trade deadline. That's one of our rules where, you know, if a player is injured before trade deadline, then we're allowed to throw him in. Is Dmitry Orlov back in the lineup? Is that why he's getting lowered down for ice time? Oh my god. I forgot how slow these menus are on PS4 compared to the Series S, which I just bought. The next series will without a doubt be on the Series S, but this PS4 is insanely slow with this game. And Sorta has been throwing up a couple good games there. But is Dmitry Orlov back? Oh, yes. Okay, sweet. So, yeah, we can put Dmitry Orlov back in the lineup, playing alongside of Bouchard, and we'll continue on with our simulation. It's back-to-back, so Sorta, oh my god, Sorta lost his last 3 games. Oh. Dude, I gotta say, how incredibly slow are these menus, man? I actually forgot how slow these menus are. I was flying through menus on NHL 22 on the new generation Xbox, and with this, man, it is painfully slow. Painfully slow. So let's continue going. Let's continue our sim here. Once, you know, the menus load up, you know. New Jersey, so Colton Point will be playing the next few games. Big win against the New Jersey Devils. Another big win against the Coyotes. I think we'll play him this last game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who loses that one, and we'll throw Saros back in the net. I gotta say, we have a pretty good tandem, though, with our goaltending that we do have. And just to update myself, I do want to see, what do we got for depth players that are developing quite well, and how are they doing this year? I know because we got our boy Brendan Marr. Wow, Brendan Marr. Wow. He is just popping off in his first year in the AHL. 30 goals in 40 games for Brendan Marr, and that shot is insane. So, I mean, we definitely have some replacement players that can take over spots for, you know, Jesse Puljujarvi and stuff like that. So that's a big thing. You know, we've been really good on our development game. And having, you know, a guy that could potentially replace Jesse Puljujarvi later on down the road is massive for us, I feel. Because who else do we got down in the system for big-time rookies? I should have just went to the other roster thing, but that's okay. Yeah, we should just go to that one. Because I do want to see that. And I don't know what we're going to do, because right now we're paying Puljujarvi and Yamamoto pretty dirt cheap. And we're going to have to pay him massive amounts of money next year. Like, yeah, Puljujarvi is 9.2. Yamamoto's starting RFA, so we could potentially get Yamamoto back on the team, but Puljujarvi is the big what if, you know? Should we maybe make a deal where we trade him away at the deadline? Because, you know, there's some options that we could do, quite honestly, with our team. And I was thinking we need to upgrade ourselves defensively, especially, I mean, we do, oh, you know what? It might not be a bad idea to trade away Dmitry Zadorov this year. I know we've been talking about how we're going to keep Dmitry Zadorov and all this, and he's really good defensively this year, but we could pick up a potential guy that can really just steal the team away from us. But he's really good alongside Darnell Nurse this year. That's the problem with Dmitry Orlov taking that kind of that spot on the team right now, since we accidentally traded Zach Hyman. It kind of leaves us in a little bit of a, you know, what can we do? And Saros, oh jeez. Man, we really need to go all in this year. And that's why I'm kind of thinking Dmitry Zadorov is kind of the expendable piece for this team, is because, you know, he's a good player, but he's taken up a spot where we could potentially pick up a top 2 defenseman at this year's deadline and make us seriously super sick. And we could go for a potential deep playoff run and then, you know, retool or try to go for it again next year. We're going to have to deal with a ton of stuff this year. This is, you know, probably our best chance to really win the cup. And, I don't know. Maybe this is a year where we go all in. Another injury. Evan Bouchard with an abdominal strain. We just cannot stop having injuries, bro. We just continue to lose players. Colorado, big win there against them. We're right now 500 in our last 10, so hopefully we can continue picking up some W's. Nate Schmidt. But like I said, we can't really make any deals unless we trade away a defenseman in that deal, basically. And then Minnesota, we lose or shootout loss against them. And yeah, we already paid Draisaitl that big money. I think we're also going to have to pay McDavid here soon too, right? Yeah, because Draisaitl already got that extension. McDavid is 2 years out, and then also Holloway's 2 years out. I think also what we're going to do is pick up, I mean, Colton Point, I mean, Man, he's been killer these last 2 years. Maybe we rely a little bit more on Colton Point. I didn't know he was really that good. I mean, he's been putting up some sick numbers because I'm kind of thinking about going with a tandem going into this playoffs, a little bit different than what we did last year. Because how deep did we move into the playoffs last year? Yeah, we lost in the second round against the Knights, and I'm not blaming it on goaltending. We just didn't play good enough. We didn't produce good enough to even win that series. I don't know. I don't know what we could do. I mean, there's definitely some areas where we could definitely, improve this team, upgrade in. That's a big thing that we could definitely can do. There is spots on this team where we definitely need to upgrade. So I don't know what we're really going to do for that big upgrade. Are we going to go after a big goaltender? Are we going to go after a top 2 defenseman? Are we going to maybe potentially trade away Puljujärvi to improve the team depth-wise? I don't know. I think we definitely improve up some depth players. I think that's definitely something we can do. Someone that has some big veteran leadership because, I mean, how well has that third line been since we kind of put it together, especially with Hartman playing on that fourth line? So Hartman, Strome, and Bergolt, they haven't been doing too bad. They've been producing a pretty good amount of points, so that's good to see out of Strome there. So Point losing his last few. We'll get Saros back in the game there, so we definitely want to give Saros some more games. He's been catching back up, so that's good to see. I definitely want to play him, and we're right now still atop of the division for the Pacific Division, and we're getting very, very close to the trade deadline here. Yeah, well, yeah, we're seriously really close to trade deadline, so we'll continue on our sim. Big win against the Flyers, 7-2. That is what I'm talking about. Lost there against the Penguins. Scott Lawton's finally back in the lineup. Beautiful. Get him back in. Come on, game. Jesus. I hate these menus so damn much, man. Oh, God. It's like they're forcing people to buy the next-gen console, but you can never find them anywhere. Legit. You can't find these next-gen consoles anywhere, but, let's make, the fucking old-gen consoles the slowest that they could ever be. Where are we at, dude? Jesus, what the Come on, man. Come on, EA. Jesus. Jesus, Murphy. Another injury. Jesse Puljujärvi falls to an injury. So New Jersey Devils. Big win against them. Puljujärvi's back in the lineup. Oh my god, that top line. Oh my god, Holloway is killer this year, man. Even that second line has been producing pretty good. I don't think we trade anyone in our top 6, honestly. I think we keep it the exact same. I don't think we touch any of our top 6 players. I don't think we touch Puljujärvi. I don't think we touch Yamamoto. I think we just touch either the D or, depth-wise for our forward core, and I think that's all we do this upcoming deadline. I think that's the best way to go about things because we're looking like a very, very good team this year. Like, we are really good. We're putting up some good stats. We're playing really good. I think we're really playing good as a team. Draisaitl's leading the team in points this year with 79 points on the year. He has been killer for the Edmonton Oilers, but our goals for per game has been killer. 3.86. Our goals against per game, second best in the division. Our power play is at 21%, and our PK is at 88.2. So not too bad. So we're playing pretty well defensively. I think we could definitely use, a big-time defenseman. Either that we get a rental. Because, yeah, we're going to have to play with the cap a little bit. Because I know we're really tied up against it already. And we can't take in a player that's going to cost us a ton over the next few years. We got Bouchard, who's leading the team in points. He's been pretty good on the power play. The Nurse, Dmitry Orlov has been great. Grizzlick. Gorakovo, Zadorov has also been pretty solid. And in goaltending wise, Saros has just been absolutely killer. 22, 9, and 3 with 4 shutouts and a 9-11 save percentage. And Colton Point has also been seriously very, very good this past year for the Edmonton Oilers. So before we jump into the deadline, we're going to look at, what we can really do with this team. How much money we're going to have next year, especially since Draisaitl jumps up to that 11 million threshold. What can we do? So next year, we're going to have about $21 million in cap space. That's without signing Puljujärvi, Yamamoto, or Hartman, or any of our depth players here either. And that's without even signing Saros yet to a contract as well. Most likely will not be able to keep Saros, I'm guessing. I think that's one player we most likely won't be able to keep. And I'm thinking, too, maybe we do go after a goalie that can play in the playoffs, because Saros has been a guy that we've had for 3 years now, but has never actually been able to do anything good for us in the playoffs. Colton Point, the last 2 games he played in the playoffs, he was very not like he played like 1 full game. I think we maybe make a move for a goaltender. Like, we keep Colton Point on the team, but I think we make a move to get a goaltender on the team and give us, you know, a 3rd string guy to go with, I think is the way that we go here. Just because I feel like we need that 3rd string goalie to give us that extra depth. And, yeah, what do we have for picks as well? Like, what's our draft board looking like this year? We don't even have a 1st round pick. Oh, so yeah, we can only really make one big deal, really, if you really think about it. So Zadorov is definitely going to be somebody that we could, you know, use to go after someone big for a big player. You know, rookie skaters, we really don't got a lot of potential that we could really trade away. Nor do we have picks. I mean, we have next year's first that we could definitely trade away. And I think that's definitely something we are going to do. It's just, it's either we pick up a big-time defenseman or, you know, we don't. Or we pick up a goaltender. So, let's see. Let's see what's available at the deadline. Let's see what we're going to really do. Connor Carrick. We're definitely a buyer. We're going all in this year, man. We are going all in. So, let's enter this deadline, baby. So, Jacob Slavin is the big guy available. Then you got Tyson Barrie. Jacob Slavin's at a 1-year deal. He would be, yeah, there's not a lot of big fucking players that are available, man. This is a very dead-looking deadline. Phil the Thrill, the hot dog eating man. So your best defenseman is Jacob Slavin. So is he going to be that big of an improvement compared to Dmitry Zadorov? Oh, yeah. He would be. He would be massive for the team. It's just, do you want to make a deal for that? Do you want to pick up Jacob Slavin or not? Oh, sorry, Zach, that you got traded to a team that's not even in the playoffs this year, my man. Michael Dahl is also available, but he can't play defense. See, that's the thing. I want to play patient with this team because, you know, Dmitry Zadorov is, yeah. I think we have to keep... Sorry, guys, for hitting the mic. I think we have to keep Zadorov. I think Zadorov is a guy that you keep. But that's the thing. You also have Bouchard. Right? You got Miles Cook coming up. But then you could just... You know, Zadorov might be... You know, he might actually improve that trade value. And then we could use him later on. Maybe we can make a trade for that left-handed defenseman. Once, you know, Miles Cook is ready to go. If we can't find that left-handed guy. And just go with this current defensive core that we right now currently have. Because they're playing good. They are playing really, really good. And I think, you know what? I think we're going to keep it that way. I think we're just going to keep it that way. We're not going to make moves on that fact of, you know, that we need to make a panic move and pick up a defenseman. I think we're going to keep the defensemen the way that they are. Forward-wise, I think Strome, Hartman's been doing all right. Miles Wood's been doing good. Gustav Nyquist, Bergolt. I think maybe we could bump down Bergolt, and then we could take someone out of the lineup, like, maybe we don't want to take out Miles Wood. Miles Wood's been amazing for us. Ryan McLeod's been amazing. Scott Lawton maybe is someone that we could get rid of and maybe pick up somebody else that, I don't know. Man, I'm so complacent with this team right now because we've had built a pretty good team. I do want to make a big move to vastly improve this team. It's just, what do we do? Right? That's the biggest thing. We could pick up Kempe, but that would take a spot from Miles Wood, who's been doing pretty well. Ryan McLeod's been doing pretty well. Hartman's been doing well. Bergolt's the only guy that, I mean, you could really expand from him because Brendan Marr's coming up the pipeline, and we could just trade away Bergolt. But then that gets rid of a goal scorer. We could fill him with Phil the Thrill. No, god damn it. No. You know what? Let's take a look at Phil the Thrill. Phil the Thrill. The hot dog eating man. Let's take a look at Phil Kessel. I know he can't play defense. That's, you know, the one downside about Phil Kessel. But he could give us some extra added depth. He's won a few cups before. Probably looking to maybe add one more to his repertoire. He was amazing for the Tampa Bay. Yeah, you know what? I think this is the guy that we go after. I think the way that we make this deal is that, you know, Bergault's coming up the pipeline. He is. I know it's going to suck to move on from him because he's been all right this year. He's been a guy that's been producing a decent amount of points. He plays pretty well defensively. But with getting Phil Kessel, he's going to really add some extra offensive depth. We could still pick up some more from this deal. I don't know, maybe... Who is this? Marcus Johansen? Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't mind adding Marcus Johansen, some extra depth. And then get some picks next year, if we could. A third and a fourth. So basically what we would get out of this is... I think this would be a really good deal for us. We're getting Phil Kessel, a guy that I think would be a huge team leader for us. So we trade away Bergault, and that's it. You know, the rookie and Bergault, that's all we trade. Mikko Mueller for Phil Kessel, Marcus Johansen, and a third and a fourth. Will that go through? No, it does not. We'll just do the fourth in. Will that go through? Yes, it will. Welcome, Phil the Thrill, to the Edmonton Oilers. And welcome in, my man. That is going to be a massive acquirement for the Edmonton Oilers. And I am really, really excited to have him on the team. So, I think that's the only deal we really do. Unless we see a goaltender that could be a guy that could give us some extra added depth to the team. I think that's the only thing. I mean, Cal Peterson, but he hasn't been doing that great. Jake Allen hasn't even played a game this year, and he's two years at 4.5, which no thank you. Yeah, I think we just go with what we got right now. Cole Perfetta. What? How? Wow, that is dirt cheap for Cole Perfetta. 1 year left, though, and he's probably going to ask for a buttload, and he's a second liner. One thing I did want to check, did Phil Kessel have an extension? Because if he did, that'll suck. I always forget to check that if they have extensions. Okay, no. But I think that's it. I don't think we need to make any more deals. I think we're good. We picked up Phil Kessel. That adds in some really big extra depth to that depth to play alongside of Strome and Lawton. I think Phil Kessel will be really good alongside of Strome and Lawton. So, there we go. Big old deal, as that was the only deal that we really needed to make. Picking up the hot dog eating man, Phil the Thrill. Maybe we can fill in some more hot dogs in that Stanley Cup. We'll have to see, but we got Phil Kessel on the team. And now if someone goes to an injury, we could throw up Phil Kessel to the top six a little bit. So that gives us some extra depth. Goal scorer in Arizona picks up Eriksson Ek. So some big deals. Hyman going to the Anaheim Ducks. That's not good at all. That is not good at all. That is really not good at all that Hyman's going off to the Ducks. He's looking for a little bit of revenge. That is not good. So now we have to edit the lineups because you know how EA is. They reset your entire lineup. Woohoo! Yay! I gotta re-edit the lineups with this slow-ass menu. Woohoo! Yeah, baby! Love these slow menus. Okay, so instead of Goose and Nyquist there, we might have to get rid of some people and send down some people to the minors. Instead of Marcus Johansen, I don't want him there. I want Ryan McLeod to play. He's been the better guy. So there we go. So that's the top six lines. Defensively, we're still going to go with the exact same. Zadorov up at the top pair. Bouchard with Orlov. Our power play is going to be like this. I think Nuge will bump down. No, I think we keep up Nuge there, I guess, and do the 1T there. Puljujärvi, Lawton, Yamamoto, Kessel. I want you as that 1T. Do we have... Yeah, we have a playmaker, Strome. Strome can play there. And then Nurse and Puljujärvi switch sides. I want Bouchard up on that top power play. But actually, that gives us a +5 by doing that. Fuck it, yeah. Instead of Nurse playing there, we could do Yamamoto. And instead of Lawton, we could do Strome. There we go. And then Lawton and Holloway, Zadorov, Nurse. Yeah, Nuge, yeah. That looks all good to me. And Saros and Colton Point as the starting tandem for this year. So, yeah, let's go. Let's get on to the playoffs, boys. Let's march our way down. And I think I think it's points game now. I wouldn't mind giving Colton Point the next 2 games anyways. We've been playing Saros a lot of games, so we could switch it up, put Colton Point in the next few games, and let's continue on our simulation. Let's see how many points Draisaitl and McDavid will end with. Will Draisaitl reach that, 110 mark this year? Will they break records this year? Will they break their season highs? I'd like to see that. And also, before we get even deeper into this simulation as well, we are pretty deep into the video, but I love recording these videos anyways. I could go, hour-long videos with these guys, but I do want to see, let's take a look at the full NHL, see if anybody's, of course, Ovi's broken some records. No one in the points section, no one in the assist section, but Thornton's up there. Fleury's up there in the wins. He took over 2nd place over Patrick Waugh. No one up there in the shutouts, 50-goal seasons. Of course, Ovi up there with 10. 100-point season. Sooner or later, McDavid hopefully will be up there. But we'll take a look at a franchise. I do want to see the Edmonton Oilers right quick, because I don't think we've checked this out in a little bit, and I did want to take a look at this. McDavid, 941 points. He's getting up there. He's almost near 1,000 career points in the NHL. That is absolutely amazing. Still no records have been broken yet. Saros is getting seriously close for shutouts. That'll be amazing. Games played. Nuge is getting seriously close to being the most played player in the Edmonton Oilers history, and some of our own personal records. McDavid with 116 points. That was amazing here. But McDavid, rookie-wise, no records. I mean, it's kind of hard to break any of these records, especially when you have Gretzky on the team. It is pretty hard to beat any of those records. But maybe McDavid could hit, the most points on the team sooner or later. That'd be pretty incredible. Yes, I wanted to switch back to Saros. Man, Point is seriously doing so good this year, man. I think we just start continuing with this tandem. Man, Point is going to be the career backup of the Edmonton Oilers until he starts being, bad, basically. Until the years where Point is playing bad, I think, we get rid of him. But I think we might do that as a tandem going into this upcoming playoff series, as we just continue playing those 2 guys. Brendan Marr back in Bakersfield. Let's continue on our simulation here as we take a big loss against the Blues. Shoulder injury for Strome. So we'll just place Marcus Johansen basically in that spot. Now we have some depth players. I really like, we added some good depth in that move with picking up Kessel. We added another goal scorer. Well, not added. We added a new goal scorer in Phil Kessel, which I think will definitely be a better producer than Xavier Bergault. It's sad that we got rid of Bergault, yes. But with adding Phil Kessel onto the team, he's... Oh, yeah, look at him. 3 points in 6 games. He's adding some extra forward depth, especially since he's a guy that has been a massive producer in the playoffs. He's been, a playoff performer for a lot of teams over his career. So, having him on the team, especially going into this playoff run where we want to go deep, we want to go far in this playoff run, having him on the team, I think is just going to be so big for the team, especially moving forward, as we already hit 100 points on this season, and Saros just continues on dominating, and Draisaitl at 91 points this year, man. I think he could almost break his record of his most point. Wow, how many points did he have in 1 year? What's his most? What is his most? I'd like to see that. 110, I think, was his most back in 2020. Yeah, so he might actually break it this year. I feel like he's on pace this year. Yeah, I think he's on pace this year, honestly. I think he could smash that record. I don't know about McDavid. What is he doing this year? 83 points. He's definitely a little bit lower. I don't think he's going to be able to break that 116-point threshold, especially since he did that in 78 games. That was incredible. But Draisaitl is really, really popping off this year, man. Saros is letting in a little bit more goals than what I want him to be letting in the last few games, but he's still getting us W, so that's what matters. And I think the biggest thing heading in the playoffs, if we can have that point production that we get during the regular season, I think we could go really, really far. 7-6 win over the Dallas Stars. Yeah, see, if we could have games like that, but actually play defense, I would enjoy that. Seattle, another close victory there. We'll play Colton Point probably once more again, and then we'll probably play Saros the last 5 games here, and in Vancouver we'll put Colton Point in just to give Saros, a little bit of a breather. Yeah, I don't think Draisaitl is going to hit that 110. He's going to hit 100 points this year, but definitely not that 110. And then throw Saros back in the net for the last little stint here. Both Saros and Point have been absolutely amazing this year. They've been fantastic. We'll get up to that Vancouver game. Big win against the San Jose Sharks once again. Yeah, we definitely take the top of the Pacific Division easily. Without a doubt. There we go. We clinched the top of the division. Saros losing the last few games here, but we still clinched it. We had 110 points, so we're definitely not going to win the, President's Trophy this year. But, honestly, I don't mind that. We won it last year, and it ended up not being that good of luck for the team, so I will take that as a dub for us not winning the President's Trophy, honestly. So I'll take that. And then last but not least, getting Colton Point in there for that last final game of the year. So, yeah, Saros ends the year with a 30-12-3 record. Not bad. We didn't play him as many games as he did last year. He didn't win as many games last year, but still had a pretty good season, even though he did have to deal with some injuries as well. So, not too bad of a season for him. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to pause the recording for a quick second. I thought my Streamlabs broke on me, so I had to double check. But can we shut it down here against the Canucks? Can we get a big victory to end off the season? And yes, we do, baby. We end off the season with a 53-23-6 record, as we're going to be going up against the Minnesota Wild once again in the first round of action, I think. I think this is the second time. Yeah, this is the second year in a row where we're going to be facing the Minnesota Wild in the first round of the playoffs. So we're going to be going up against Mr. Kirill Kaprizov once again. So this should be a very exciting series. Goals for per game. The Edmonton Oilers led the league in that. That was a cakewalk for us. Goals for. We had 300 goals this year, which is just incredible. Our goals against per game, still second best in the league. Anaheim leading that in the first power play. We were definitely one of the best power plays in the league. And our PK was also near the top of the league by just 0.1% off of tying up with the LA Kings. So moving on to the points-wise for the team, Leon Draisaitl led the team in points this year for the first time in a long time for Leon Draisaitl. He absolutely ripped it up for the Edmonton Oilers, having 43 goals and 61 assists. Also, Dylan Holloway was incredible up alongside of that top line. We have just really built. This line reminds me so much of Dylan Strome, Alex DeBrincat, and Patrick Kane at the time, and that top line was killer for years, and we finally built another all-star studded top line with Holloway, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Nuge also up there with 70 points. Puljujärvi did really good, and Yamamoto. Phil Kessel, his last few games, not too bad, 10 points in 18 games, and I'm excited to see how well he'll do in the playoffs as well. Strome did fairly well, and honestly, our depth ended the year off pretty good. Ryan McLeod was really good up on that fourth line. Lawton did do bad. Miles Wood ended the season off pretty good, especially with Ryan Hartman as well. Defensively, Nurse, Bouchard, Orlov, Grzelcyk, Zadorov, all these guys did amazing. Bouchard did really good on our power play this year. 38 points on the season, and has just been a really good defenseman over the past couple of years. Really good offensive defenseman, not just that, even offensively or defensively as well. And then Saros and Colton Point. Colton Point had an amazing season, especially for being the overall that he's at. He's been killer. 21 wins on the year, and he has just been straight up a killer. Straight up. So we'll move into the overall stats of the whole entire league. We'll take a look at that. So Andre Vasilevsky, Matt Murray was just falling right behind him with a .916 save percentage, and Carter Hart and Sergei Bobrovsky as well. Rookie skaters, let's take a look at that quickly. Cole Sillinger leads the league in rookie goal scoring with Fabian Lysell falling right behind him, and Pomeranian also, but looks like Cole Sillinger will win the Rookie of the Year award. And then moving on to all skaters, Leon Draisaitl ties it up with Nicholas Backstrom for the all-time points this year, so good job. So it looks like Draisaitl will be, having a little bit of a tie for the Art Ross. And the Maurice Richard race was given to Art Ovechkin with a new face to that, which is Gregory Cross. Played pretty well last year, and now this year already in his second year had 50 goals. So he's up there alongside of Ovechkin and Matthews. And then defensively, we have Cal McCarr leading the defenseman in points with 74. And looking at the goal scoring race, but for defensemen, Dumpa and McCarr led the league in goals for defensemen. So we'll take a look at the Minnesota Wild, and then we'll be ending off the episode as in the next one, we're going to be going up against the Minnesota Wild in the first round of playoff action. So it should be a fun series, and I'm excited to see what the Minnesota Wild will have to bring us again. This year, we're going to be seeing a better Sylvain Bugard. Last year, he played pretty good. This year, he's even become better. So we're going to be going up against a pretty tough team, especially in that first line with Bugard, Kaprizov, and Arvidsson. The second line, they got Marco Rossi, who's finally showing his face up in the main roster with Pius Suter and Adam Beckham. And then you got Shemechnikov, Bar Boulette, and Kirill Chaborov. And then you got Ross Machart and Mason Shaw and Tyler Mott. Definitely not the greatest. Top line is amazing, and then otherwise, it's definitely weak depth for the Minnesota Wild. And in their defense, they got Brodin, Dumpa, Cernak, Matthew Robertson, Jared Spurgeon, and Kalen Addison as well for the defensive core for the Minnesota Wild. And in goaltending, they got Kaapo Kahkonen, who will be the starting goalie this year for the Minnesota Wild. He did pretty well in 9/11 save percentage and did not play last year in the playoffs. And then Kevin Lankinen. Any injuries for the team? Just missing Jordan Stahl and Colson Lambos, and that's really it. No missing forwards out of this team. So this is the forward roster that we're going to be seeing. They're definitely weak, depth-wise. So I think we could definitely take advantage of that, especially since, they don't got a lot of great defensive players, to be quite honest with you. They really don't. And I think our team could rip them apart offensively, but we'll have to see what's going to happen in the next round, and I'm excited. This year, hopefully, can be the year for the Edmonton Oilers, and I hope that this team can really take that next step up, because it's time. We're in the last year of Draisaitl's, $8.5 million contract. We're 1 year away from having to sign McDavid to that, that next big contract. So this is the year where we got to go all in, which we did. We picked up Phil Kessel, the hot dog eating man, to this team. So we'll have to see what will happen in the next episode. Let's hope that we kick ass in the playoffs, though. But for right now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.